let us have an introductory session where I have prepared a brief demo of what Oracle looks like. And for those of you who are new to Oracle database or Oracle e-business suite, so I want you to give just just give an overview of how it looks like. So Oracle database is an object relational database system produced and marketed by the Oracle Corporation. Now, when you say object relational database, it contains of objects. And second thing is, when it's a relational database, it contains, it follows EF-called rules of normalization, and data is presented in rows and columns. This database is not a hierarchical database. Instead, you have data present in rows and columns. Now, the Oracle database is used in a variety of institutions, like financial institutions like banks, insurance companies, capital markets, then utilities like power, gas, water, then large enterprises, then retail. Now, apart from that, they are being used in web-based applications. Then they are used in automotive sector and number of other areas too. Now, it is a huge database. It's a very robust and very excellent database with huge reliability, consistency, and speed. And number of users can log in same time at this same time, and therefore it's very scalable. And second thing is that you can store large objects like pictures, files, etc., movie clippings, etc. in the Oracle database. The Oracle database is well designed for that. Now, how does data processing occur in Oracle? That occurs through something called a structured query language, or SQL, and Plsql. Now, what is SQL? SQL is structured query language. It is the 4th generation language. It's used for data manipulation, where you can insert, update, and delete data. So when you come to SQL, there is data definition language, where you can create objects like tables. You can have data manipulation language, where you can insert, update, or delete objects. Where you have transaction control language, where you use terms like commit and rollback for making the changes permanent or rolling back your transactions. Then data control language, where you want to give access to your peers. So in such cases, you use data control language. And in SQL, you have various features like joins, then grouping, then various separate SQL functions. In joins, you have inner joins, outer joins, cross join, etc. In and SQL statements, you have direct SQL statements. You can use subqueries. In the subqueries, you can use correlated subqueries. All this will be known to you when you enroll for the class, where these are different methods of retrieving the data. And you have grouping functions, where you can group certain, categorize by certain category, and retrieve data according to that. So you have built-in SQL functions to do certain things on your own, like decode, which is used like if else. Then you have something like seal, which indicates the upper seal and floor, which indicates the upper and lower limits. Then you have got max, minimum, and average to get the maximum, minimum, and average. Incidentally, maximum, minimum, and average are grouping functions. You have the least and greatest, something to find the least in a data or the greatest in a data, one which has the highest value in a data. Now the Plsql is a procedural language for the structured query language. So structured query language is a declarative language that allows database programmers to write SQL declaration and hand it to the database for execution. Means you write SQL at the SQL prompt and retrieve the data. But you could not put it in a programmatic fashion. In order to enable it to put it in a programmatic fashion, you will seek the help of Plsql, which is nothing but a procedural language, structured query language, so that you can embed your SQL statements in the procedural language and use it as a program. Excuse me, Rupa, am I going too fast? Hello?
It's little bit faster.
Hello?
Hello? Yes, sir. It's little bit faster.
It's fast, right? Am I fast?
Yeah.
Should I start from first or?
No, huh? Sir. Could you please continue?
Okay.
Okay.
Now, procedural language, structured query language. This is the interface through which SQL can be used programmatically. You cannot use direct SQL commands in a program, so you have to use the Plsql for making it look like a procedural language where the execution is from top to bottom. And Plsql is available from Oracle database version 7. And now the latest version of Oracle database is 12c, but which is in the which is the most popularly used version is 11g, which is Oracle 11 grid computing. That is a computing paradigm introduced by Oracle to execute for faster volume, to execute data very in a fast manner, so that data can be retrieved quickly. Now, let me come to the difference between SQL and Plsql. See, SQL statement is executed one at a time, whereas Plsql can be executed as a block of code. SQL's database tells what to do, means it is a declarative command. It just tells the interface what to do, and not what, it tells just the database what to do and not how to do it. In contrast, Plsql tells the database how to do things. It's a procedural language where you follow a top-to-down bottom approach, where the top statements are high. The statements are executed in the increasing from top to bottom. Now, SQL is used to code queries, data manipulation language, and DDL statements. When you come about data manipulation language, it is like inserting, updating, or deleting data. And DDL is just like creating of data tables, views, synonyms, and such objects, which you will come to know while you're enrolling for the class. Now, Plsql is used to core program blocks, triggers, functions, procedures, and packages. And these are also the various objects in Plsql, which we will come upon it later. Now, you can embed SQL in a Plsql program, but you cannot embed Plsql within a SQL statement. Like coming to Plsql, you have anonymous blocks, you have procedures which are just standalone procedures in which you pass the parameter and get a task done. Functions which return a value, means you use the return statement in the functions. For example, if you want to get the tax of an employee, so paid by an employee, you can calculate the tax based on a function, using a function, and return the value in a SQL statement. Package is a very interesting feature of Oracle RDBMS. It encapsulates both functions and procedures in that. Then you have something called triggers, which are used, which are event-based procedures, which are event-based Plsql units, fire upon inserting, updating, or deleting data. It can be used after or before these statements. Second thing, which are not included in the side, is use of cursors. If you want to declare, if you want to retrieve more than one row from tables, where you want to declare retrieve more than one record from a table, you can use cursors. Now I have something called, I'm coming to Oracle Apps Technical. Hello?
Yes.
Is it okay so far?
Yes, it's good now.
Or am I too fast?
Previous, it's too fast. It's okay. No, it's
okay. Okay, then Can you tell me what to do? Well,
Could you please complete after that?
sorry, I can't hear you.
You can continue your. I mean, you can continue, so, then we will discuss.
Okay, I'm
After,
sorry, but
after listening this video,
okay, but
I'll
after
send.
discussion,
I'll send video to you also, so at the time you know what.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Based on that, I'll make a correction.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Okay.
Now let us come to the Oracle apps technical. Now, before that, I want to speak about Oracle ERP. What is an ERP? An ERP is a software which takes care of the entire operations of the enterprise or an organization. In an organization, you have uh, supply chain, you have finance, you have HRMS. Now, if you want a seamless integration of all these activities, you can use an ERP package, and Oracle e-business suite is one of the most interesting and the most advanced e-business packages available in the market. Now, there are two streams in the Oracle e-business. One is the functional and one is the technical. The functional contains is related to the verticals in the various functional mainly pertains to the domain which is used in the database, like supply chain, like HRMS, like payroll, all this. They are called functionals. When for a layman's language, functional, I will explain more clearly. You create a purchase order. When you want to buy something from a customer, you create something called purchase order and you send it to your supplier. The supplier sends back the items to you. You receive those items and record it somewhere. Now this entire process is called functional. But to implement this in an ERP, you need a program. And that is where the role of a technical consultant comes. And that is where the app's technical consultants exactly do. Now, for a successful implementation of ERP, both functional and technical should work in sync, and so that the results will be positive. Now, second thing is, now when you are saying about payroll, let me tell you another example. A payroll may consist of, a payroll is where exactly, sorry. In a payroll, you have the pay structure of various employees, and based on a frequency, the payroll is run and the salaries get credited to the employees. Now, in a payroll, there are various elements like HRA, DA, or basic, and many other elements. Now, to execute this in a, so the functional consultants looks into all these aspects, whereas for building the reports, related reports, program, or any other procedural task, the role of technical consultant comes into play for this. So it is then where the technical consultant has to play an important role in the ERP implementation or the Oracle e-business suite implementation. Fundamentally, the Oracle technical consultant should know the basics of SQL, Plsql, and he will have to know the introduction to the Oracle applications e-business suite, the front-end screens, how it looks like. He should have an overview of the Oracle apps architecture. Then he should know how to run the programs in the Oracle e-business suite, which are always known as the concurrent programs, for which you have to register the concurrent programs. Now, as per the Oracle standards, you have a documentation called AIM documentation, which is nothing but an application interface methodology documentation, application implementation methodology documentation, The examples of such documents are MD50, MD70, CV60, CV40, etc. Now, what is meant by MD50, MD70, CV40 or CV60? MD50 is nothing but the functional design. MD70 is nothing but the technical design. CV40 is again functional design for the conversions. CV60 is again the technical design for the conversions. Now, when it comes to an Oracle Apps technical consultant, he should know the system and fundamentals of system administration. He should know how to create users. He should know how to create responsibilities, menus, functions, etc., which we will come upon, which we will deliberate upon later in the class. Apart from that, there are something called who columns, which are nothing but audit columns, which are used in various tables to keep a track of what is happening in the database. You should also create something called request set, which is nothing but a clubbing of a few concurrent programs and which can be run in a sequential orders. Apart from that, you can have parameters in concurrent programs in which you filter down your data to narrowest possible conditions, where instead of taking a complete data where you get data based on a certain, filter your data based on a certain criteria. Like the best example of parameters are the date range. You can have date from and date to. So you can get the data which is from date from and date to. Then coming to the next big thing in Oracle Apps technical is there is something called RISEW. RISE is nothing but R stands for reports, I stands for interfaces, C for conversions, E for extensions, and W for workflow. Now, what are reports? Reports are part of the Oracle Developer suite, which is nothing but or developer reports 10G or report 6i. So you develop reports in various programs in using the report builder and deploy them in the Oracle Apps environment. Interfaces are nothing but daily running programs which are used to transfer data from one source to another, which can be used to transfer from an external source to a base Oracle tables or from a base Oracle tables to external sources. They are continuously running programs and it requires continuous monitoring, and they are used in various models. Conversions is a process where in which you have if you are implementing an Oracle database fresh, you can have data from the legacy system, what is known as the old systems, which are legacy system. Legacy system is nothing but the old system from which you design the programs, do the mapping, and take out the data and put it appropriately in the Oracle database tables. Extensions are nothing but the extensions to the already existing standard functionalities. So for which you have forms or reports and you want to add some have some add-on features, you can use the reports and you can use the extensions in such process. Workflow is a tool where you can send notifications, where you can schedule your activities. The best example is of a workflow is that when you apply for a leave, the notification, the email goes to your manager. Your manager can approve or reject it. Second thing, you are placing an order for something, your manager can approve or reject it. Or if he is not there, he can redirect to some other operations. So that is one way of using workflow. And you have got, let me show you the forms interface. Forms is a part of developer to developer 6i, where you are using front-end applications. The basics will start from when you are developing forms, you will use two forms known as template.fmd and appstan.fmd. You use in forms, you have something called libraries, where you use custom, which is called as custom.pll, which you can use for writing the custom code. If you want to do any customization in forms, it is imperative that you should use custom.pll. You have afterwards once you develop the forms, you can register the forms and the Oracle applications and then view it from the front end. You have Oracle reports where you design the various reports according to your user preferences, and Oracle applications has got something called user exits, which we'll be using in the Oracle e-business suite for initialization of parameters and based on certain, and to deliver the report based on certain criteria. Now we have got something called registration of reports, which will be delivering in the reports. Now I'll tell you the basic differences between interface and conversions. Interface is an ongoing program, conversion is a one-time activity. The basic difference is that in interface, the data is continuously inserted into the database or taken from the database and inserted into third-party tool. Whereas the conversions, when you are implementing new system, you can take the database, or you can take the data from the old system, or which is known as the legacy system, and put it into the database. For making use of this, we have two utilities called SQL Loader. SQL Loader is used for inserting data from files to database. UTL file you use for writing data from database to files. Now, as I explained to you, this is the front end. This is how a workflow looks like, where you have the various processes, notifications, functions, and messages. If you where you can associate your Plsql programs to the functions and events, then you can base your business logic based on that. The relevant notifications will be triggered. Then lastly, we are coming to XML Publisher. XML Publisher is a template-based reporting tool which will be soon be replacing Oracle reports, and you can use these in Word and Excel and PDF formats. So you'll be making use of XML files, and you will be using this generally for reporting. In addition to that, I want you to tell you something in Oracle apps that is called flex fields, with setups and lookups, profile options, which will be covering them extensively in the course when you in the course. Profile options are nothing but the way you can design you can make the application work according to your needs based on certain criteria like site, application, responsibility or user, which again we will be deliberating deeply into it. Then flex fields are nothing but to use for easy customization of your applications. You have something called flex fields where you can make your changes to the application without the need for a programming. Then lookups are something in such a way that you have certain values. You can group certain identical set of values in a single place, and that can be used all over the programs again and again. And in case a change is required, you need to make change only to the lookup, and there will be no need to make the changes anywhere else in the program, so that the change made in one place can get reflected in many places. I hope that's all, the end of my session. I hope